InShalla and Ashe. I always have to make sure I'm online. It seems YouTube takes me a second longer. Welcome to Monday, July 26th. And the snippet of the day is actually on our personal belief system. When we're actually loving the skin we're in, self-love is truly, it's like enjoying your inner garden, your inner self, being alone with yourself, even like going to dinner alone or reading a book, lounging in the bathtub. So if your relationship to yourself is bitter, detached, or hateful in your inner side, then everything that you actually create with love is carried with that seed out into the outer world. So this seed is our prime directive, our inner note, our personal sound of our own unique creation. So shifting the magic is what is so like gridline about this week, between attraction or rejection or bonding and repelling. So it's like when two magnets bond or they repel, the negative polarities or the positive. But today, let's go into the four pillars. The four pillars of the day. We have Yin Wood, or what's called the Yaya, on the day branch. It's considered our day master. I probably repeated myself, but we also have the pig on the branch of the stem, which is the welcoming element of water. Like we totally need some good old juicy water. As far as the element to bring in today or ground into, that would be like metal or mineral, just refining our decisions of self-love in our inner world. So if this was a person, their husband or their mate would be a resource or a support for them. So anything below the day master in that stem, being the pig, that's kind of what our mate looks like, or the person we're in relationship with. But the person would also be able to actually create wealth, not necessarily their mate, but earth to a wood day master is wealth, whether we get it in a proper way or an improper way. So it might even come in through inheritance, that kind of thing. So the month branch is how or what we do in our day-to-day life. So the year is our ancestors or our grandparents, just to kind of throw that into the mix. So in my Love the Skin You're In, or Uncover the Secrets of the Other World, I cover elemental grounding, how we can actually utilize the elements, not just the 5 basic elements, because there's other elements that do a plethora of different things for us. Whether you want to ground into a star, another galaxy, the ethers, air, there's a bunch of different unique little elements. But it's not just grounding, it's also centering, protecting, and more. Grounding is kind of the thing we always go to. But the cosmic energy of the day is shifting our personal love story to ourself in our inner heart space. So what you believe about love is actually creates your story, your own personal love story, the narrative, the script. Okay, I'm back again. Hopefully you didn't lose me. But so I'm actually, a friend of mine created this story called the Star Ceremony. So I'm actually going to keep you posted about that and when it's coming out. But I always say the universe loves me and wants me to share my light. I am love incarnate. I have my go-to words. I always have like peace, joy, happiness, integrity. And I'm adding actually love to the mix. So any negative thought patterns that you have, or really any patterns, whether it's in your career, your relationships, most people come for a reading or a divination. Those are always the few things that actually usually come up. So our mind, we kind of need to like be that fire extinguisher and extinguish out our fears of our heart in our mind, and recalibrate that. And the universe is really magical. So extinguishing those things that we fear or that we're afraid of, the lesson is to love yourself in the response. So if it comes up once, kind of distract yourself from the pulse, go for a walk, watch a movie, read a book, and don't give anything a second thought. And if you do, what you're doing is you're giving that thought more energy. So today is a day to actually learn about yourself, be your own teacher, be your own healer on your inner corridor. So you might have felt a bit challenged over the last few days. Um, Thoughts and feelings could have like come to the surface that were hidden under the rug or cobwebs in the closet, but they're actually revealing where our heart space, our heart might feel hurt or damaged, even confused or afraid, or maybe there's a pain. So you want to observe, just observe the feeling, and you'll come to an understanding of what the emotion in motion is trying to describe, or what it means, give you some clarity on that. And just modifying what you believe about yourself and your inner world. So today is this learning, expanding, and more about modifying, like recalibrating your personal love channel. So over the last few days, you might have felt heavy or sort of hungover from the full moon, because it was seriously removing all of those obstacles and those debris. So it's like the frequency we frequent is in our heart space is like literally beaming out from our own personal heart and shedding light out into the earth and the universe and all around us. So it honestly takes me a few days to recover sometimes. So it's like being our own witness to ourselves when different issues come up. So now that you're kind of aware of that, you have the evidence of what you actually witnessed about your own result in your own personal love story. So to our beliefs about our own personal love narrative, when we generally get our beliefs from our upbringing and what that looks like. But this narrative is driven by what we believe that we deserve inside of us. So ultimately, our beliefs come from different ways people have literally treated us, or the way we've actually treated ourselves over the years. The biggest thing that really gets in the way of our personal love story is this idea that we believe that we don't deserve it until we have proven to ourselves that we're actually worthy. So this is a conditioned way of loving ourselves, where we place these conditions or judgments on ourselves, and then we hold space or hold back our personal or our inner approval, self-approval, or our love of ourself until we perform that. So it's a three-dimensional kind of thing where we have this self-discipline formation that doesn't really speak to the light of the divine inside of us, our own personal love star. Where the fifth dimension, when we approach it from that aspect, is to actually just be in self-love unconditionally all the time and just stay in that frequency. I mean, look at me. I've had some skin cancers burned off my face. Aren't they great? And I just keep doing my thing because that's just what's happening, right? There's no thing to cover up. It's kind of a message. I always have weird skin issues, but I've really been sending love to my skin to vibrate higher and heal faster. So just know that you are absolutely worthy of love, and you should absolutely 100% believe it, regardless of any of those past performances or radical behaviors. You know, it's really time to upcycle any of those things and climb into your skin and be heart-centric. And we all go through this. So today's a day to actually remove all those conditioned beliefs, maybe write them down and rewrite them with a new narrative. And we all do this. So rewrite the narrative that you've put on yourself for your own personal love story in your inner heart space. So, you know, each of those chapters, just kind of sit back and observe, because that's kind of what they are. We create our own little narrative, our own story. So our behaviors and even the quality of how we love ourselves, and give a definition to those conditions and officially just erase them. Literally imagine like erasing them from your beliefs. So that's truly the goal for a day like today. You want to identify the conditions that you place around loving yourself and erase them. Just removing those false narratives, the false beliefs. So this truly is a skill that goes beyond like our everyday survival mode. We're shifting to thriving instead. So maybe shift your story to where you are thriving and just erase all the survival mechanisms that are inside of you. And the ancients, when you think about ancient wisdom, when I do a divination, there's actually, it's not a shell, but it's an item, an object that represents the ancient pyramids and the ancient wisdom. And that's where they were more intelligent in the love aspect of loving our inner selves first. They're actually, they kind of mix and coagulate with what's called the genies. So they have an intelligence of loving the skin that you're in. So every aspect is from a perspective of self-preservation and self-love and what that looks like. And just having a galactic appreciation of the galactic multi-universe, the divine source, great spirit, whatever you want to call it, the oneness field. So we have really turned pretty primitive over, I would say, since the dark ages or the last few centuries on our personal love story. And it's not an idea. It's measured by a feeling, and it's truly just a way of life to like really love yourself first. And today is also a day to ground in our spiritual energy and neutralize those negative vibrations in a gentle, more soothing, loving way, blocking all the outer world stress, the environmental stress, that electromagnetic smog, and just eliminate or detoxify on all levels. So this is where different crystals can assist us. And I usually go to the one that I actually resonate with. So yesterday I had a tiger's eye. Today I actually have a combination of an amethyst and a citrine. So those are just different ones that I can call in. So today what's fun is our third eye is actually open. So we can take all the goodies from the galactic universe, the core, our own personal star story. So the color today is deep blues, purples, indigos to the glow. And you can also use green, which this has green, to recharge our heart center. And I'm also wearing, uniquely enough, an emerald. So it's things like that. Plus, I'm back on eating mostly greens, salads, or blending greens, just to frequent that frequency of higher vibration, getting back into my own personal routine. And just know that what we believe in our heart is actually what sets up our limitations, our soul story, those self-limiting beliefs. So if we can imagine something, we don't believe it. So there's this, we have to get into the etheric of the imagination. So today in your personal love story, I want you to take a pause and take a breath. And I want you to ask yourself, what does my heart believe and what does your mind think about it? So it's like, what does your heart believe and what does your mind think about change or loving yourself or the feeling about your inner world, your belief system or your limited beliefs, or where you belong in the world in the future, your attitude, or opening up. What do you believe in your heart that you can open up to, and what does your mind have to say about it? Or what is your spiritual path? And keep asking yourself those two questions. What does the future really hold for you? What resonates in your space? What's your true character? So sometimes we become chameleons and we lose an aspect of ourselves when we're in relationship. So it's just staying really in our skin, in our soul story, to be authentic to our personal self first, our personal love story. Or another one is like, we are the ones to create or manifest in this earth journey. So what do you believe about what you're creating? And then what does your mind have to say? And ultimately, at the end of our journey, or an idea, I shouldn't say the end of our journey, but ultimately, what are we here authentically to become? So I have I guess it's kind of my personal mantra, like of changing lives, igniting passions, through the information highway while awakening the spirit. That just kind of came to me, and I kind of hold true to that, because ultimately that is what I want to become in my future reality on the earth plane. So those are just some ideas to really climb into your skin through your beliefs and really what your heart thinks about it. So you want to feel into your heart and follow what you believe. So this is like a great journaling thing, or just to kind of tune into. And the angelic beings of today, we still have Raziel. Raziel will be here for the entire Leo season. That's the secrets of God. So it just kind of illuminates our pathway to success, to our earth story. Like this divine being, or the soul, it's like a soul being, connects with our soul story, has the different insights to see what's literally stopping us from moving forward. So this is truly a great day to kind of see what beliefs are holding you back. Raguel's the friend of God, relationships, groups, society, and even the order of society. So, creating peace in the village. So this angelic being is known as being fair, brings prosperity and harmony, and gets rid of all the negativity, the discrimination, or any kinds of harassments. And then we have Sandalphon. Sandalphon is brother. I've talked about Sandalphon actually yesterday, but it connects to our intuition. So he's the deliverer, or the angel that delivers our messages and our prayers. And I told you lately that I've been having songs popping into my head, artists that I really don't even listen to. So I am being told through the music or the lyrics, and I truly am not afraid. And like, it's like bringing other people to get over the fear, to know they aren't alone. That's kind of what that song kind of resonated with. So again, I'm not afraid, but my advice for you and all of those that are listening is truly turn off the media, the mainstream narrative, connect with the greater spirit, an ancestor, something untangible, a tree, go to the water, and try this, just doing this alone for 40 days. And you're going to watch your personal love story shift, because it's like you're flicking off all the negativity and the fear narrative that's happening in our world. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going today. But let's go to, here we are, the card of the day. It's the Three of Pentacles. I pulled this from my I call it the Love Tarot, but it's actually my Angel Tarot deck. So I felt called to the angels today. But the Three of Pentacles, which I really found pretty curious with it being a 3-day in the season of Leo, it represents our learning, which is really a 3 kind of day, action, creativity, our reputation in a way. So this is a day where we get acknowledged, not just on our inner world, but maybe the people around us. So it's not a completion or the finish line, but it's like it's in progress. But, it doesn't indicate that we've actually reached the first goal or attained that first goal. We're in the first stages of whatever we're creating. It might be that you've had success in a job interview, a speech, or even a workshop where you actually get the applause. So if I was to do a reading, this card also would come up. It can show weddings. It can show like performance on a stage. I notice it's green, so that's very healing. It might even be showing, like if you were to sell your house. So it's like the action of showing your home to somebody who might buy it. So it's like getting the show on the road, or whatever the show might be. It's like getting in the flow. So the affirmation for today, something I would say is like, I am connected to my feelings and they are in line with my beliefs. And you always want to bring in your heart. It's part of the Trinity. So you have, you've set your boundaries, you're in your heart, you're paying attention to your feelings. And when they start, I want to say coagulating, or it's like that cosmic soup, then like your true beliefs, your authentic beliefs start coming in and through. So with all of that, make it a heartfelt kind of day, inshallah and Ashe. And as always, I'll see you on the other side, or at least by tomorrow.